lotteries today are supporting the social causes, which is education, which is helping the poor people, maybe infrastructure or school. And our Millionaire, for example, is dedicated to the Oasis Park program.
Hello, I'm Vince Ang. I'm the general manager of the Filipino Times, and we're back again to host this episode of O Millionaire podcast. And with me, of course, the CEO of O Millionaire, Ralph Martin. And of course, on this episode, we'll be discussing the social economic impact of lotteries. Now, Martin, could you tell me on a macro level, or in what way that lotteries impact social economy?
Thank you very much for letting me be with you, and thanks for being with me today to discuss this topic, because it's an industry people do not really know about, or don't think about it, right? So when it comes to the economic impact, and let's say the social impact or social economic impact, I think we have like four major topics to talk about. So let me start with obviously it's a revenue for whoever, for the government who is running the lottery. But for that, you have to understand usually how a lottery works. And I always want to point out the difference between gambling and lotteries, because when it comes to lotteries, what you do is like you usually pay out around 50% of the income is going back to the winners.
Mhm.
So that's a big difference to, let's say, gambling, because I mean, a slot machine is giving you maybe 3%, or casino games like, let's say, a roulette table is get maybe a little bit more, but I mean, it's always like just a small percentage, while lotteries are focusing on giving something, let's say, maybe 45 to 60% in the range. Average, I would say 50%. Then we have like another 50%, which is going into the operation costs, of course. And then we are talking profits, and then we are talking about the social good causes we are supporting. And this is really important. So let's start, let's say, with the easiest thing, the 50% for the winners. That already makes a difference if you win, right?
Yes.
So you have like, once a sudden you are a rich person, you have like enough money to start your own business, to have like you're following your dreams in whatever it is, like uh, you can support your family, you can take care of your debts, what you probably have, like everybody has. I don't know if you have, but I mean, I have. Uh, Ask my bank. So I mean, but these are things, like where you can take care of, and gives you a lot more peace right away. So this is like the first impact I would say it has to an individual person.
Mhm.
Okay, now let's talk about the other impact. The lotteries today are supporting the social causes, which is education, which is helping the poor people, maybe infrastructure or schools, whatever it is like. And our Millionaire, for example, is dedicated to the Oasis Park program, where we are planting 60 million trees in the desert to help to save the planet, to get rid of the CO2 problem we have in the world. So, but this environmental problem we are taking care of is like kind of new. And
Mhm.
when you look back, like I mean, it's more like the social causes for, as I said before, like starting from education to helping people in need. Let's say this is a big impact, and that's uh, the money. I mean, we are talking about millions and billions going into this, right?
And I think, I mean, I understand the domino effect of how a person or an individual wins, and that the after effect of that, and how that person will eventually, as you mentioned, probably start their own business. That domino effect in the community, in the economy, where people start creating jobs, creating contributing to the commerce in that certain area, whether it's big or small, right? But also, it's also nice to understand that the causes that you have, like for all millionaire, the oasis that you've been trying to fund, it also creates a bigger impact in the society, in the economy as well. It's not just taking care of the environment, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to our project, the Oasis Park project, what we are supporting and running, then of course, it's something where the project is self-creating jobs and doing something good for the environment. I mean, obviously, fighting global warming is a big issue today. Um, but you have to imagine, I mean, it's not just planting trees. You need maintenance for the trees. You need a laboratory to figure out what trees do you want to plant, and you need like people, engineers to build up the water system for the trees. We are using, in our case, so-called AWGs, atmospheric water generators, that are producing the water for the trees because we do not want to use the natural resources in groundwater. So I mean, but and it's not, it's that's us, right? I mean, that's a, and it's a wonderful thing what we do, and we spend a lot of money on this. Um, but also, like, if you look at established lotteries in the US, for example, where they're like giving it to hospitals, for example, of course, a new hospital in a city makes sense, or in a neighborhood. And if nobody wants to finance it, then the lottery can fund it basically, or pay for it. Then it gives like a good thing. We have lotteries that are spending money in research of cancer issues or other diseases. Um, the pharma industry, as you know, is mostly looking for uh, research in fields they can make money, right? Because obviously they need to make money, but that's fine. So if you have, like, let's say, some kind of things, like people are not aware of, or like, then maybe lotteries jump in, and lotteries do jump in and help finance it. A kindergarten in the neighborhood. I mean, of course, like, it's so important to have, like, um, everybody's working today. So I mean, we need these kind of things. And then we have, like, people that do not have a home, or do not have like enough money to buy food, so they can go to shelters, and then these are also funded partly by lotteries. It's a big thing that's going on.
It is really a
Yeah.
big network, and really contributing a lot on not just specific entertainment sector, but various
Right.
sectors that us, a normal individual, won't understand or won't see, right? But it's really good to hear how you've tried to explain how these lotteries have really impacted or
Yeah.
creating impact around various sectors or various lives to begin with, right? So what are you seeing, like, changes on causes or impact on society, how lotteries are trying to establish their business, having impacts on people around them?
I would say, when it comes to these national lotteries, or this, I would call it like national lotteries, where the country is providing the lotteries. We have these lotteries established in, obviously, in a lot of countries in the Western world, and we starting having it here as well in the Middle East. But when it comes to these kind of things, then I see not a change when it comes to the big players, but it comes to a change when we are talking about the new people coming on the market, and they want to make money. So they are not really into the social causes anymore. They are more like in a commercial side. Um, and again, we are sitting here with O Millionaire. O Millionaire is doing this. I mean, we are spending a lot of money into this, and we do not want to make money actually, uh, for any shareholders or anything like that. Because if all the salaries are paid, if all the winners are paid, if all our the distribution partners are paid, I mean, then we are all happy, because we can do something further beyond the social stuff, which is, in our case, is like the Oasis Park project. So there's a slight shift to, like, more like to the wannabe, like, gambling side, which I do not like at all, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
because people always say, like, yeah, we can make more money if we have like a second lottery, a third, or fourth, or fifth, like every day a lottery, or like Kino, where we can like have like a lottery like every hour, or
Mm-hmm.
things like that. This is not the idea of lottery. The idea of lottery is mainly to make people happy by winning and changing, by winning and then changing their lives, having this dream. So besides, let's say, the social causes, is there's a big income for the government, mostly, as well. So they are making money, instead of through taxes even, but I mean, they make a lot of money. And then we have like, the fourth part is, like, I would say, the economic impact in general, when it comes to not just the people working for lotteries, which are salespeople
Yeah.
and the management and administration and all this kind of stuff, but all the people that are related to lotteries, which is retail, advertising, of course, technology, and advertising. By the way, I mean, magazines or newspapers making money with us, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, we have to pay for this if you want to have like an ad. So that means the industry is also giving like to a third party, and then of course you have to pay your salespeople or your journalists and the newspaper, of course. So, and it's really interesting if you start looking at this. Um, in our case, for example, um, when we are looking at the social course we are running, the Oasis Park again, we estimated that we need about 4,000 people at the end, like to run all our projects, which is a lot of people. I mean, we have to pay, or the program is paying. But when it comes to the people in, let's say, in countries like, let's say, England or even Germany, my home country, we are talking about something between like 20 and 50,000 people working just for the lottery.
Wow. That's a big industry.
It's huge industry. And when we are talking about the US, of course, I mean, they have like more than 400 million people there, but we are talking about hundreds of thousands of people working for the lottery industry, like directly or indirectly, as I said.
I'm really fascinated. I mean, the nerd in me just like wow on the total effect of the ripple effect of having lotteries and influencing the different sectors around it working all together to serve, and to make things happen. So, are we still looking at having expanded like causes or expanding your reach when it comes to influencing or having more contribution into society for O Millionaire?
Yeah, well, for us, we are trying to expand because I mean we are not just a national lottery. We are, I would say, like a world lottery when it comes to that because we are the first green. We always say like we are the first green lottery because I mean we have the Oasis Park, and doing these kind of things with these these social. I mean we call it social lottery, obviously, but the social cause is our environmental cause. But giving you an idea how big the industry again is like I checked it a few numbers in to find out like how big the industry is. Even so, I knew I knew it, but I wanted to have like precise numbers for you today. So a couple of years ago, we exceeded $300
Wow.
billion dollars in the industry. And if you know that 50% is going back to the winners, I mean, the winners are getting 150 billion, right?
Wow.
And
We have billionaires walking around.
we should have billionaires. We have a lot of lotteries as well. So, I mean, maybe we have millionaires.
Millionaires.
That's fine. Also, like if you take the other 150 billion and the 150 billion is going to the good causes and to the jobs and all this kind of stuff. And of course, like, I mean, if you have a job, you're supporting your family and everything. So, you pay the rent, you pay for food, you pay for restaurants and all these kind of things. And because we have like new technology to approach the people and people, it's easier for them to play the lottery, having like a digital phone and or these smartphones. We probably extend it to more than $430 billion over the next 10 years. So the industry is still growing. So we are still having more jobs and more winners, of course. And if you look on a single country, for example, like the UK or Germany, which is almost the same income, we are talking about 8 billion pounds in the UK and $9 billion in Germany turnover every year.
Wow. Well, as you said, the industry is still growing. We'll see more contribution of lottery into society. So again, this is the end of the episode, but stay tuned, guys, because we'll have more interesting stories on our next episode. Thank you, Rolf.
Thank you, Vince, and please buy a ticket because I need to support the advertising in the Filipino Times, of course.
Thank you, Rolf. See you guys next week.